What's going on, guys? It's Mitch and Mike from Quickie DFS, here to break down a showdown slate between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. We have the Vegas odds pulled up right now, and I'm going to let Mitch take over and talk about it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Finally, the primetime games are getting good now. We're starting to get to the good part of the season, and we got Kansas City here versus the Bills. They opened up at 57, only dropped half a point. So you love that over and under. You know there's going to be a lot of points scored here, and it should be a really fun matchup. This was the AFC Championship, we know, last year. So these teams are familiar with each other. It's most likely going to be the AFC Championship this year.
Yeah, I agree.
I would think if the Kansas City defense could get it together, but that's something we're going to talk about when we get into this. So we'll just kick it off with probably our overall favorite play. We can't wait to talk about him.
Stefon Diggs.
It is finally Stefon Diggs' breakout week. He hasn't had those Stefon Diggs games that we saw last year. I think this is his time to shine. There's no one on Kansas City that should be able to stop him.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Kansas City's secondary. We know Diggs is an elite receiver. We saw him perform well with Josh Allen last season. He hasn't really struggled this season. It's just that there's a lot of people around him, but it's finally his turn to go off. I'm gonna lock and load Stefon Diggs at my captain spot on both sites, no problem. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely, I love it. I see over 100 yards and a touchdown. I think this is that breakout game for Stefon Diggs, and I'm gonna have almost 100% of him in my captain. Moving on to some of the other Bills receivers, we'll just stick on the Bills side here. It's kind of finally Emmanuel Sanders broke out. The first 2 weeks we were all kind of banking on the Emmanuel Sanders. We saw the air yards and all the targets and stuff. They just never really linked up. But finally, over the last 2 weeks, Emmanuel Sanders kind of came into his own on this Bills offense here.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so I was really excited about them getting him, and I played him the first 2 weeks and nothing happened. So I didn't play him the last 2 weeks, in week 3 and 4, and of course he goes off. So that's how it usually goes, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's kind of how DFS goes.
Now 10-5 though, I don't necessarily love that price tag on DraftKings.
Yeah. So over here, he's a little bit more reasonable at 9,000. You kind of like him over here a little bit more because
I'll probably have Emmanuel Sanders on FanDuel. I don't know if I'll have him on DraftKings though.
Yeah, especially we love Diggs, so we expect him to have a big game. But on FanDuel, he's a little bit better of a price that you can get to. Do you want to get any Cole Beasley? Definitely not on FanDuel.
No, not for that price. I'd rather just play Emmanuel Sanders and Dawson Knox.
Yeah, that's kind of
AK, he has 3 touchdowns already, 4 touchdowns on the season.
He might be a late bloomer. He's been in the league for a few years now, and he might be coming. He might just be a late bloomer. Josh Allen seems to like him in the red zone. Most tight ends.
That's where most of his targets come from.
Yeah. So you do like Knox. Once again, we're not going to be playing any kickers on this in this showdown slate. You don't like Gabriel Davis anymore with Emmanuel Sanders there. He's lost his buzz a little bit. He did have something in week 1, but you don't like Gabriel Davis anymore. Finally, you can kind of say that they narrowed it down. Zach Moss is getting a lot of the backfield work.
No, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. So he's had 14, 13, and 8. And how many targets? Okay, so he's had 5 targets. Now, can you go to Devin Singletary for me? So now if you go to Devin Singletary, it's 14, 11, 13, and 11. I know Zach Moss missed the game. He hasn't performed like Zach Moss has, but he's had all the opportunities, and he's still had more targets. So if I think I'm going to play a running back from Buffalo, I think I'm going to play Devin Singletary just because a lot of people are on the Zach Moss hype train and they don't realize that Singletary is still getting the same amount of touches and targets.
I'm gonna roll with the Zach Moss hype train here with the the equal amount of opportunities that they both have, I see Moss doing a little bit more out of it.
It might just be a price tag thing for Showdown.
Yeah. Obviously, we love Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'll have both quarterbacks in my lineup.
Yeah, another showdown when you expect high scoring like this, you pretty much need both quarterbacks. Josh Allen's also elite, so he'll be in the lineups. You know that Tyreek Hill.
I'm assuming Tre'Davious is going to be on Tyreek, so I think I know how fast Tyreek is and whatnot, but I think I lean Travis Kelce, especially if Matt Milano misses because he hasn't practiced the last few days.
So that's
something to look out for.
Yeah, that's big news coming into this that we'll have to pay attention to, because if he does miss, which it's got to be about 50-50. He didn't practice, on Friday. So I would go with about 50-50, and if he doesn't play, I don't see why you shouldn't have Travis Kelce everywhere. That's really their linebacker that, guards, covers the tight end.
They'll have Tremaine Edmonds, but Travis Kelce's Travis Kelce. And I think I'd rather have someone... I think I'd rather have the coverage from Tremaine Edmonds than Tre'Davious White if I'm picking a receiver.
Either they're always good plays. Tyreek could always get open, but I think Travis Kelce is going to be the more safer option.
He's cheaper, too.
Yeah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been, DFS relevant the past 2 weeks. I played him both weeks. On DraftKings, the 100-yard bonuses help. But I don't love it this week as much as I did last 2 weeks.
No. As we know, I know Matt Milano hasn't played, but Buffalo still has a good defense, and they have a good front. So I don't think I'll be really touching running backs from Kansas City. I mean,
I would pump the brakes on that. I might be getting to a little bit Williams out of the Kansas City backfield. I like his opportunities that he's been having, even with Clyde there. You don't mind it on a slate. You might be trying to pay up for some options at this price. He doesn't need to get you much. He 7 and 10 opportunities. He fell into the end zone. He's had targets the last 2 weeks. I can get behind it.
I can get down with that. Now, but right below him is Josh Gordon, and Josh Gordon is supposed to play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll probably play just a little bit of him. I don't know how much.
Just for the funness of it.
I don't know how much he's going to be on the field, though, guys. So.
Yeah.
It's a dart throw.
I couldn't do
That's
it.
really a dart throw.
I'd rather play Byron Pringle.
I agree.
But if you want to have some fun, go ahead and try Josh Gordon. You never know. So with that being said, those are kind of our plays here. We do like, Diggs and the captain, as we said, and both quarterbacks. So those are kind of our 3 locks that we'll be giving out. If you would like to get our full lineup, you just have to reach out to us on Twitter at QuickieDFS. And please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, that pretty much wraps this up, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
See ya.